Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to this first of a three-part series that I'm doing on how to take that actual step towards changing your routines around food or exercise. So in this first training, I am going to be talking about the actual reasons why it does feel so hard to make a change, why it feels so hard to stray from a routine. For instance, why does it feel so hard to eat more or eat something different or to change your exercise routine, like take a rest day? So today, just to preface, I'm not even going to be getting into the impacts that physical restriction, energy deficit, or states of malnourishment have on your behaviors and the things you think and do. That is important, but that's a whole other training. Today, I'm going to be talking about something deeper when it comes to these attachments you have to food and exercise. So this is going to be the most theory-based of these three trainings. In the next two trainings, we're going to be talking about motivation to actually get you to take those steps and to put your rational brain first, as well as practical strategies to help you achieve the goal and move on. So the reason why I am talking about this topic is because I believe very strongly that understanding is really powerful. In the world of disordered eating, and when you feel challenged by disordered eating, a lot can feel confusing and out of control. And so by building in your sense of understanding, you can bring that control back. When you can start to have a better understanding of what is actually happening in you, in your body, then what you're eventually able to do through the consistent work and getting support to do that consistent work is you eventually become able to separate yourself from the things that you're thinking, the things that you feel, the desires that you feel compelled to do. And you're able to take a more objective look at what is going on in those moments. And this ability to separate yourself in those moments and understand more clearly what's going on can have a very big impact on your ability to actually do the thing that you need or want to do. This also helps you understand that this is not anything to say about who you are or how much you want to be healed or recover. This can also help you understand that there are things going on underneath the surface that are very powerful and have nothing to do with how much you want to heal and recover, or how much ration you have behind the things you need to do. This understanding can help you find that compassion for yourself, because we cannot heal with shame. You cannot heal with self-deprecation. That's part of what got you here in the first place. And so we cannot use that to get you out. We do not heal through shame. We heal through understanding, acceptance, and compassion. Also, when you can understand why you have to do something and what you're doing by doing it, especially if that step is going to come with discomfort, there's more motivation to do it. When you know it's going to be uncomfortable and you don't know why you have to do it, there's very little motivation and reasoning to get yourself to do it, right? So that's another reason why understanding can be powerful, and why as a coach, that is something I really help my clients strengthen, is that as understanding and that ability to separate themselves in those moments. So right off the bat, I'm going to say here that often it is very much assumed that the desires to eat less or exercise more and the discomfort that comes with the idea of letting go of these two things comes from a fear of gaining weight. Now, yes, this is true. Although this has a lot of accuracy behind it, what I want to get across in this training is that there's more to it than just that. So often the women I work with, and maybe you are also saying, you want to be in a healthier body. You know that rest is going to be good for you. You know all these things are positive rationally, and yet you still feel a great deal of resistance in letting them go. So the problem is, if we're only chalking all of this attachment and these desires to eat less or move more to a fear of weight gain and body image, then what we're doing is we're only working at a surface level. We're only working from up here. And this is what can create that disconnect for you, where you feel confused or frustrated because your ration, the things you know, aren't lining up with your actions. But the thing is, there are other things going on that you can't see. These attachments come from a deeper place. So in order to help you heal, we can't just rely on your rational thinking. So why does it feel so hard to actually change and do something new or out of your routine? I am going to share my screen here. I believe visuals help in this learning process. So the thing is that some people do not recognize is your brain is actually made up of three separate whole parts. Today we're just going to be simplifying things by talking about two different parts. But the point is that you have different parts of your brain that work completely separate from another, meaning they have their own agendas, they have their own powerhouses, and they don't really communicate with each other. So to keep it simple, today we're going to talk about your rational brain versus your survival brain. So your rational brain is the part of your brain that houses your goal setting, that does your planning, that works with logic, that has a focus and reasoning behind it. It's the part of you that knows rationally you are going to be okay if you do X, Y, or Z. Now, this whole other part of your brain, your reptilian or survival brain, as we call it, its main and only purpose is your survival. So the whole part of this brain is 100% focused on safety and protection. Protection from whatever it thinks is a threat. Now, this part of your brain is connected to your nervous system. Your nervous system is powerful. Your nervous system has the ability to make you feel certain things, think certain things, and it has control over the actions you take. Now, if this fear center in your survival brain detects something new, it will see this as a threat, because anything new to it has a danger, as a possibility of danger behind it. So then what happens is this part of your brain communicates with your nervous system. And together, they have the power to do all sorts of really powerful things and get you to feel certain ways, to think certain things, to do things. This is often what's called the fear hijack, which is essentially where this survival part of your brain takes over. And when it takes over, it has more power than your rational thoughts. Your rational brain kind of goes out the window when this fear hijack happens, which happens when something new is on your horizon. So now you say, okay, I get the whole threat thing, but I am not being chased by a lion. Essentially, I'm safe. So why does my body feel like something like eating more or resting is dangerous? Here's where I want to talk about the concept of safety. Safety in this realm is not the definition of safety that the rational brain may want to jump to. It is not just a matter of whether or not you have a roof over your head, you're okay financially, whether or not you are in a safe environment rationally. It goes a lot deeper than that. Your body sees safety as much more than just those external things I just mentioned. Feeling seen, feeling heard, feeling accepted, loved, appreciated, valued, feeling in control, feeling like you have a purpose, feeling like you belong, feeling connected to others. These are all what we call core human needs. Now, our needs come internally as well. So We can feel unsafe within ourselves if we are missing self-love, self-worth, self-acceptance, self-confidence. We need these things too. And if we don't have any of these things, or we feel we don't have these things, or we feel at risk of losing any of these things, your body will try to find a way to give you them. Your body will find a way to try and fill these needs. You are right to need these things. These core human needs are for your survival, and that's how your body reads them. So there's nothing wrong with you for having sought these things, for needing these things, to be trying to find these things. So the thing is, to your body, to your nervous system, and to this fear center in your brain we talked about, these core human needs are connected to safety. Your body does not know the difference between them. Your body doesn't know the difference between a core human need and whether or not you're being chased by a lion. So that's when, if your body detects that it will be losing or not having any of these things, it will kick that nervous system into gear, and it will have the power to make you feel restless, anxious, have you spinning thoughts, repeated thoughts, brain fog, excuse me. So what we need to do is to help you learn to separate these things that are going on for you. And we need to give you ways and learn and help you learn ways to intervene before these things take over, before the survival brain and the nervous system take over. So what does this have to do with an attachment to body size, to diet mentality, to exercise? As a coach, I focus on the here and now of your healing, which means my job is to help you through the behavioral changes and the rewiring process of rewiring your attachment to your behaviors, to rewire your current thoughts and behaviors which are keeping you where you are. Now, here is the thing. Like I said before, disordered eating and these attachments can feel very confusing because often women come to me and they don't understand why it's happening. And when they don't understand why it's happening, there can be a lot of shame involved and thoughts that say, I shouldn't be struggling with this. But here's the thing. You might not ever fully understand why you grew to have these attachments, why you have these attachments, why you grew to have an eating disorder or struggle with disordered eating. Maybe you have made connections to your past and your current behaviors. But the thing is that your reasons why you have these attachments can run so deep and can go back years and years and years and years and years ago to times when you either don't remember or you weren't even around. So these connections can be ancestral, meaning within evolution and human nature, at one point in time, our ancestors learned that if they weren't belonging in a group, they could be left behind. And that would mean at that time that they wouldn't have food to eat. That was a risk to survival. People who had to pick up all their stuff and hop on a boat to travel for months to a new country to find a safe way of living again, they had to learn to not eat very much because eating too much was a risk to their actual survival. If they were seen not working hard enough, not doing enough, that was a risk of possibly being cast aside. So it got ingrained that they had to be doing and maybe not eating very much in order to survive their life at that time. These connections can also be linked to your personal experiences from your past, from your adolescence, from your childhood, things that you learned, experiences that were hurtful in that moment. Your unconditional brains, where your limiting beliefs are stored and hidden underneath everything, they get formed between ages of 0 to 7. Again, meaning that a lot of these connections that have to do with safety get formed at times that you can't even remember. And then, of course, we also have diet culture. Diet culture, which from the moment we are all born, gives out these very powerful messages about what it means to have a certain body and the risks that are involved if we don't have that certain body. And these things get tied to these core human needs that I talked about. So all of this to say, the reasons behind you, these strong attachments to you have may be a myriad of things, and they may go back centuries even, if not from when you were young. And so it doesn't so much matter the why. And if you try to spend all your time just trying to figure out why, you could just get yourself into a phase of confusion and frustration or shame, and that is not going to help you move forward. That is not going to help you learn what you need to do to help yourself overcome these things and to move on. So what matters is that you begin to recognize your conditioning and to begin to recognize that at some point, for whatever reason, these patterns you have became your body's way of keeping you safe. They became your body's way of protecting you and giving you something that you needed in that moment. So if your body learned at some point that having a certain body size helped you feel seen or accepted, helped you feel worthy, helped you feel in control or like you belonged, your body is going to hold on to that. If your body at some point connected the adrenaline high of exercise to feeling purposeful, your body is going to hold on to that. So here's where I want to redefine the fear of gaining weight. The fear of gaining weight may not so much be about the weight gain, but is more a matter of losing a safety that your body is holding onto very strongly because it wants to protect you. So when we ask, why is it so hard to change? It's because underneath it all is your body's very strong desire to keep you protected, to protect you from losing a safety, something it feels is safe, and to protect you from feeling something hard. It doesn't want you to feel a hard emotion. So perhaps it's also protecting you from feeling something that at some point in your life you learned was unsafe. But the thing is, it is safe. The thing is, it is okay for you to make this change. You are not rationally being chased by a lion. You are not rationally still in cave person days or on a boat trying to get to a new country. It is safe to do these things. And in fact, your current patterns are ironically taking away a lot of the needs that we need to help you find, that we need to teach you how to get. So although everything your body is doing is out of protection and it has a very good purpose behind it, and I really want you to begin to recognize that, I also want you to recognize that your body has it backwards. And because these patterns have been repeated, this is also reinforced to your body that these behaviors are safe. Now, so you know, and I'm here to tell you, that it's actually not true that you will be unsafe with making changes to your routine. Now, although your rational brain may be able to hear this and know this, your body does not yet know this. So this is where you need to become the teacher. This is where you need to learn to separate yourself and teach your body that these changes are not a danger. This is your time to step up to the plate. This is your time to teach your body something new. You need to teach your nervous system, your body, yourself, that these things are not going to harm you. And you do have that power. It involves learning ways, like I said, to interrupt that cycle. So to come in here and learn real strategies and tools to overcome those moments. And this is, like I said, why we can't just rely on your rational brain, because in those moments, the survival brain does take over and the rational brain goes out the window. That's why we need things like structure. planning, accountability, and support from outside sources, because an outside source is not going to be the one that is getting swept away in those emotions. An outside source is going to be the one, so such like a coach as myself, someone safe, a treatment team member, they are able to help you separate yourself in those moments and to help you bring you back to your rational brain. It's hard to do that on your own. Now, just to say, this is a process. Your body needs to learn that these changes are okay, and it learns to trust that it'll be safe within these changes. So it's a process, but it's going to require steps, consistency, tools, and support. The body can learn. Your body learned that your current behaviors are the thing you should be doing. It had to learn this. It didn't get born thinking that thing. It learned it. So what's to say it can't learn something else? But you now need to be the teacher. So my homework for you today, I want you to get your journal right now and set your timer for about 10 minutes, and I want you to just brain dump. I want you to ask yourself, when I think of safety, or maybe the word comfort works better for you, what do I see? When you think of safety, what comes to mind? And I want you to just let your pen go and write down all the things that come up for you. Maybe they're past experiences you've had and memories. Maybe it's colors, words, phrases, images, locations, experiences in your future that you want to experience. What are all the things that invoke for you a feeling of safety? And to hold yourself accountable to this, I want you to, after you do this exercise, I want you to write in the comments one of the things that came up for you when you thought of what comes to mind when you think of safety. In the next two videos, like I said, we're going to be going through ways to build your motivation to actually take that step now that you have a better sense of what's going on, and to actually give you practical strategies to achieve that step and move forward from it. If you have any questions from this video, please leave it in the comments below or send me a direct message. And I want to see you commenting in the comments after you do your homework. Okay. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.